Now well into 2010, ILStv spoke with Barb Sulzenko-Laurie, the VP of Policy for the Insurance Bureau of Canada, about how the association is set to do this year.
Well, we're well capitalized, okay. Investment income does appear to be up. You know, it's not, it doesn't take much for it to be up from last year, given the disaster on financial markets last year. But investment income is up. And we are well capitalized. So we are seeing the comprehensive ROE and the comprehensive ROI, which includes the unrealized gains, has improved. Looking at the third quarter numbers, and despite the fact that ROE per se and ROI per se are in fact down. The worst news in terms of the financial performance is on underwriting, and which shows again by the end of the third quarter, about $500 million had been lost on the underwriting side. That contrasts with plus for the previous year, first 9 months of the previous year, of about $100 million. It's a huge contrast, yes. So it's the hits taking place on the underwriting side. The investment side is improving. I mean, it's sluggish because interest rates are low, as you know, and our investments are largely in very secure securities, and government bonds and high-grade corporate bonds, which don't carry high returns to begin with, and of course, with interest rates being as low as they are, it's not stupendous as the earnings from our investments, but nonetheless they're secure, and capitalization remains strong.
This year is set to be a busy one for the Canadian P&C industry. Ms. Sulzenko-Laurie explains what IBC will be doing.
Well, I think that what we're going to see is certainly a great deal of work on trying to implement these Ontario reforms so as to stop the bleeding that's going on in Ontario. Ontario is responsible for about 25% of the revenues of the industry nationwide. That's Ontario Auto. And clearly that system needs to be fixed. It's disappointing that the reforms will not be in place until well past the mid-year, but we're going to be working hard on making sure that they get those right. And also, we have been pressing the government to implement some of the reforms earlier than the target date, so as to stop some of the excesses that we're seeing in the system right now. That's key. And I think we're going to see some adjustment in loss ratios, efforts on the part of the insurance sector to get particularly the personal property loss ratios in better shape. The advocacy on climate change is going to continue and heighten. Because clearly the medium and long-term solutions are matters of public policy and that have to be addressed by federal, provincial, and municipal governments. Another issue that I haven't mentioned is, which is going to take a great deal of work, is that with the new government in Nova Scotia, that is taking an active look at the shape and form of the cap. That's an issue that raises the concern and the risk in that jurisdiction. So we'll certainly be active in trying to work with that government so that they can get the kind of reforms they need at the same time that we don't see premium increase, the cost and premium increases accompanying it. We will have our challenges. There's no question about that. I think particularly on the weather front and the taxation front and the reform front.